radio. Can we start off with like an introduction, just like a first and last name and then just job title?
Sure. Go now?
Yep.
I'm Jeff Skoug, the Recreation Supervisor with the Village of Waunakee.
Okay. So for the first question, how did you get into this career?
I started actually as a physical education major in college, and then there wasn't any physical education jobs coming out of college, so I got into recreation, which was close to what I was doing in PE. But I started with the YMCA right out of college, and that's been with it ever since.
Okay. And then what is something, or like what do you do at a typical day at work?
Typical day, there is no such thing as a typical day in this field. Every day is different. It's just a matter of interacting with the people that come in, dealing with programs, citizens' concerns, scheduling programs, creating programs, administering things. And then just having some fun in there too. Supervising staff, running programs, those type of things. So
Okay.
nothing's never the same. It's always something different. So.
And then what's something that you like most about your job?
Interacting with people, all little kids to seniors and everything in between. Different people coming in. With our facility we have here, the community center, obviously we have more traffic flow, more people coming in and out every day. So that's a highlight of the day, I think, is just interacting with people, different people of all ages, and chatting with them and talking to them and seeing what they're up to.
Okay. What are some of the biggest challenges that you face in your job?
I think one of them is, especially in the sports end of things, because I do supervise all the youth sports in the village, and one of the biggest things is unrealistic expectations sometimes from parents as far as what they want for their kids, and how to accommodate that, whether it's being on the right teams, being in the right skill level, those type of things. Sometimes that's definitely a challenge. And there's also the challenge in the summertime, especially of weather, especially outside programming. You always got to worry about the weather and what's going on. That's always a challenge as well.
What advice do you have for someone preparing for a job in this field?
I would say get involved. Do as many things as you can. Be involved with as many different connections. Make connections. Network with people, whether it's people in the park and rec field, the YMCA, coaching, whatever it is. Make as many connections as you can, because as you get going through your career, those will be connections that can help you along finding jobs, finding things you need along the way. So get involved as much as you can, even if it's volunteering. Volunteer just to get your name out there and get to know people in the field. That's very important.
Okay. So how did you get into like this specific organization, and then what other ones have you worked with?
When I was, like I said, out of college, my first real job was with the YMCA, and then similar to the recreation field, just a different venue, but similar type of thing. So I started with the Y. I'm actually in Chippewa Falls out of college, and then I went to Milwaukee after that to the YMCA, and then after that I was there for 7 years, and then I got married, and we had some kids, and we were going to move closer to Grandma and Grandpa, which is this way in town, this way in the state, towards La Crosse and Dubuque is where we're from. So from Milwaukee it was closer to come here, so I started applied for this job in Waunakee, and they were looking for a brand new position, building this community center and that type of things here, programming wise, and I applied and I got the job. So it's been a great fit. Been here 10 years now, and it's been great. So.
Was the YMCA something that you really liked, kind of similar to this?
It was very similar. The Y was very similar. The Y there's a little different angle from the Y, a lot more on the fundraising end of things, which you don't have as much of that with the public park and rec field. But it was very similar, similar to the facility I'm in now. Basically, the community center we do it here that I supervise, fitness center and gymnasium, similar to Y. So a lot of similarities that way. We sell memberships and that type of thing. So the Y was great, but this was also a nice fit as well. Very similar, but yet it's something a little different too, which isn't the worst thing. So.
Yeah. And then what would you say is something unique about your organization?
I think having this community center, most park and rec departments don't have access to a facility like this, and most of them are in office and they have parks and use schools and that type of thing. We're very fortunate here to have our own gymnasium. Most park and recs don't have their own gymnasium. They're not able to program their own times. They're usually working around their school schedules to get gym space, but we are very fortunate to have our own space for meeting purposes, gymnasium, fitness center, all those type of things. It's a great luxury to have, I guess, in the park and rec field. So.
And then, what is your work environment like?
Like I said earlier, very flexible. It's always different every day.
Mhm.
Don't sit at my desk very long. A lot of going out and checking on people, checking on things. I'm not one to sit at my desk anyway, but definitely very fluid throughout the day. Different things coming up all the time, and I like that. I mean, the variety is good. Keeps you going and challenges you every day.
And then, what are some areas that are like growing or changing kind of in the field?
I would say one thing we've really focused on the last couple of years is partnerships. You know, instead of doing everything ourselves, if we can find partners to work on programming, doing things, it's obviously two brains or two different organizations working together is obviously a lot easier for everybody. We can't do everything ourselves, so we've really focused on reaching out, finding partnerships. That's a common trend everywhere. You know, whether it's soccer or sports clubs in the community, or schools, or churches, or service clubs, whatever it is, reaching out with those groups and trying to work together on projects. And then from a programming standpoint, I think non-traditional sports are really taking off. You know, we've started pickleball here, which is something different. We've started a table tennis league. We've done some other cross-country skiing, some of those type of things, not your normal tennis, baseball, football, basketball type of things, trying to reach out and do some different things, because I think a lot of people are looking for those diverse options. Lacrosse is another thing that's really taken off. Some of those different sports are really trending, I guess, now in the field.
And then we kind of talked about this in class, like communities, just like reaching out nearby communities. So do you work with like a lot of the nearby communities when setting stuff up?
We
or
do.
bringing newer things?
Actually, we've last few years with both our basketball and flag football leagues, we work with other communities around the Madison area, so we can, especially for our older kids, so we can do some leagues that way. Verona, Fitchburg, Monona, Cottage Grove. We worked with them on some of our programming, which has been great. We also have monthly meetings. This part of the state, it's a region of the state, it's called Par 3. We have monthly meetings where I call the park and rec directors from this part of the state get together, brainstorm, talk about things. So there's a lot of that sharing of ideas and resources all the time. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, definitely use those resources and share those when we do that monthly. So.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say we just talked about the Par 3 in class like a few weeks ago.
Yep.
So I just kind
Yep. And then the state conference is coming up next week. I don't know if
Yep, I'm going to that.
Going to that, cool. That's a good experience to that as well. Great opportunity to network, meet people, great breakout sessions, that type of thing. So those are all really valuable. Get your name known, meet people, that type of thing.
So then that looks like it's all I have.
Okay.
So thank you.
You bet.
For letting me interview you.
No problem. All right, thank you. Sounds good, Sam. Easy enough.